So I haven't talked about the Sullivan family for quite some time, and there's a reason for that. It's because they are just downright boring. My God, they're boring. Aren't they boring? I can only cover them when there's something to talk about. And there just hasn't been anything to talk about for a long time. I check on their videos and there doesn't seem to be anything happening, so I just don't bother. Now, today we are going to talk about them, and we're going to talk about them in the context of their channel dying. And we've got some statistics to show it. Now, I have covered the Sullivans for a long time, quite a few years now, and I'm glad I found them. You know, I wouldn't have been the channel that I am today without the Sullivans and taking the piss a little bit. You know, it's been a laugh, hasn't it? But there comes a time when you have to say that the Sullivans are just not relevant anymore. Were they relevant in the first place, though? That is the question, isn't it? Were they? I don't think they were that relevant. They weren't that relatable. I mean, having 12 kids isn't relatable. It's a niche, though. It is a niche. People do watch it for the, you know, the unique factor. I was going to say the freak factor. Yeah, maybe that's true. I mean, with watching the Zoe and Ben, maybe that's the freak factor that people have been searching for. But their channel is on its last legs, and we're going to see right now exactly how. So this is the most famous family in Scotland. Scotland! Exactly. The most famous family in Scotland. And this is their Social Blade statistics. So you know how accurate that is. In fact, Social Blade is accurate only when it comes to money. It's not, right? So take everything else as the truth, except for when it talks about money, it's never accurate. So this is the Sullivans. Oh yes. So what do we have? They have yeah, all this is just, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just the Social Blade rankings compared to other people. Right, so how much have they earned? How much have they not? That's a big question, isn't it? These are their stats for the past couple of weeks. The views here, you can see this is the amount of views they gain on a daily basis. So here you can see that they've this is across their entire channel, not just a video that they've uploaded that day. It's plus 6.9 thousand views, and given that they upload daily almost, to only have that amount of views across your entire channel, it means that nobody else is binge watching the rest of your videos. So that's a problem. That's pretty poor, not gonna lie. And it seems to be pretty standard across most of the days that they upload. This day here, this is a good example in actual fact. The 7th, that was a couple of days ago, and they only gained 2.4 thousand views. Now I'm guessing the low count there is because it fell on one of the days that they didn't upload, and that means that the people binge watching their videos only amounted to 2.4 thousand. That's additional that they'd get. Maybe even that's more than they'd usually get on the rest of their videos. Maybe people are watching more of their content that day because they haven't uploaded, for example. Now these are this will give you a good insight into how much they earn on a weekly, monthly basis. So if we take the last 30 days, 182,000 views for that month, for the past 30 days. That's not in the month of August or the month of July. That's the past 30 days. 182,000 views. And if we take what my current rate of pay is on YouTube, because it'll be something similar, it won't be exactly the same, but it's a good guideline, so I know that it's real. Okay, so if we times it by, let's have a look, 182.8, and we times that by 6, which is approximately what I get per 1,000 views, and that comes to £1,096.80. 1,096 pounds. That's all they got for the past 30 days. Now you tell me, is that enough to feed 14 mouths? Is it enough to feed those little kids? I don't think so, right? That's not a full-time wage. Any of you that out there that work, you know that that's not full-time wage. That's probably not even a part-time wage. That's a terrible wage, right? And Zoe and Ben are trying to feed their kids off that. That's dreadful. So if we have a look down here now, these are the views over the past couple of years, so you can see how their channel has been doing for the past couple of years, and this is interesting to me. So if you look here, last month they got 195,000, so you can see the views are slightly more than they have been in the past 30 days, but it's I mean, I'd say it's on a slight downward spiral here. It's not totally gone down. I'd say the channel is pretty much stagnant. Back in September they did well, 429,000, and back in September of 2023 they also did what seems to be September, actually, 430,000 then as well. But they haven't really gained, and they haven't really improved their channel, and we're gonna have a look at the reasons why I think that is in a second, because I have my theories and I want to share them with you. So this is their YouTube page. Let's become acquainted with exactly why and what they're doing. All right, so Ben and Zoe are the stars of the show. As we know, we have Ben doing his little morning walks through the woods. You'd love to come across him in the middle of the forest, wouldn't you? And then you've got Zoe doing her little chattersons, right? just boring everybody to death and being everybody's bedtime story, right? So on the videos, this is the reasons why I think they're doing so badly. The most recent videos, you've got B&M, Home Bargains Haul, Cheeky Shop with me, B&M. Apparently people do actually like B&M hauls and shopping hauls and things like that. I personally don't. I think they're boring, but other people do, and people tend to find shopping hauls bump up their views. Unfortunately for the Sullivans, that's not the case. The last one got 3,000 views. The one before that got 4.6 thousand views. Imagine doing 2 videos about shopping, you know, making 2 videos out of one shopping trip. That's insane. So what we've got here, right, you can see the views are terrible, right? 4,000 views on this one. We hit Scotland's #1 adventure park, right? They've given up clickbaiting Landmark because everybody knows they go there too many times and people are bored of it. It's no longer the big draw to get people in, is it? So they've put Scotland's #1 adventure park. Well, that's debatable, right? Because, you know, verifiable fact, it's not verifiable, is it? I'd like to see where you've got that statistic from. Anyway, yeah, people obviously voting with their feet. 4,000 views only. That's terrible. Anyway, you'll notice one big thing on these thumbnails now, and it's a good thing but it also is very telling, right? A lot of family vloggers, in fact most of them, you know, they clickbait their kids. They clickbait their kids doing this. They clickbait their kids being sick, ill, in the pool, in bikinis, anything to get that type of audience in, right? That's what they clickbait. The Sullivans don't tend to do that so much. Only every now and again do they put their kids front and center. That's not to say that they don't use their children for money, because they clearly do. Nobody would watch this pair, would they, without the kids being involved. But whilst I think it's a good thing, you know, and the right thing for them not to put their kids on the thumbnail, nobody's clicking on Mr. Frumpy. Mr. Frumpy was the one that I'm thinking of. Mr. Tumble. He's trying to portray himself, right? Okay, now we're going to look solely at Ben here, right? All his facial expressions and the way he comes across, he's trying to be like this family friendly vlogger, right? On his own. Help, dad versus shed. Now nobody gives a shit, right? Not to be disrespectful, Ben, but nobody gives a shit. Nobody is invested in you as a person, right? I'm not saying people should be invested in me as a person, but you are trying to put yourself out there as this, like, I don't know, dare I say it, Mr. Beast type character. Is not helping. He's bumped up the well, he's improving the thumbnails here, making them very, like, you know, kid friendly, to get the kids, but he doesn't have that aura about him. Ben doesn't have that I want to go and watch this man aura, right? He's 50 years old, and again, I shouldn't say that, because, you know, I don't think there should be an age limit on people watching, or people that you watch, right? But he's trying to cater to an audience which isn't his audience, right? Nobody gives a fuck about this man, and he is trying to come across as that. I say they don't clickbait their kids, but, you know, there's like, but again, this one here, more screen time, dad explains. And it's just very cringy, and all the facial expressions that he pulls is very cringy. It's not him. It's not. It's just not. It's not the one. I'm sorry. He's very. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the word cringy, and that's the why. That's why their channel is not growing, because nobody wants to watch Mr. Tumble, and nobody wants to watch this Zoe. Don't have a name for her. Zoe, talking about popping her kids out, and, you know, umming and ahhing through everything. Basically, it's not the one. Actually, is not. So there you go. Those two are the reason why their channel is not growing, and in actual fact, it's going down. I mean, I've covered these for a while now, and their views used to be 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 12,000 views. But if you look at the views now, 4, 5.3, 6.9, 5.2, 6.7, 3.2. You know, the views are just not going up at all. They're going down, and that's worrying for a couple that basically risked everything to take their kids out of school and to become full-time vloggers. Because since they become full-time, they've actually cut down on two days a week. So Ben used to be going out to work 5 days a week, but still doing the vlogging and the editing and everything 7 days a week. But now, since he's quit his job, apparently the vlogging 7 days a week is too much, even though it's less work than he used to, because he was used to go out to work. And so they've become like now a 5 day a week, because it went from 7 days to 6 days and now to 5 days, which I guess is like a full-time week. But if your only draw is that you are full-time vloggers, like daily vloggers, then it becomes a bit of a problem. Maybe you should take 2 days off and they should be the weekends. That should, maybe that's it. But that's the Sullivans, and they are doing badly. They're not really relevant too much anymore. They are definitely not relevant anymore. That is the long and short of it. We've seen there that Ben is trying to put himself across as this Mr. Tumble, bring all the kids to the yard sort of situation. It's not working, because he's not the type of person that the general young child or even teen wants to go and watch, right? You're not Mr. Beast. You're not going to bring in all the kids or the teens, and definitely not the teen girls. Not suggesting that that's what you want, but you are trying to draw that sort of crowd in. It's not going to happen, because you're not that person. Dare I say it, you are not Chris Ingham in his prime, right? That's a controversial point to make, because Chris Ingham is, well, we all know what Chris Ingham ended up being, but back in the day, before he was outed, he was a little bit of a catch, a draw. All the teen girls loved him and things like that. You're not going to be that sort of person, Ben. You're not. Right, as much as you may idolize Chris, because I know you're friends, and even though they did snub you on the most recent trip to Scotland, you begged them, and they said they would think about it, but they just didn't in the end, did they? They just walked on by. Imagine being snubbed by the Inghams, who are so desperate for friends. Anyway, that's gotta sting, isn't it? So yeah, that is the Sullivan family as they stand right now. Not doing too well. Obviously, I haven't included any footage in this video, because I don't think there's anything else that I can show you that is going to say this channel is dying, right? I might do a shopping haul if you beg me, right? I might cover a shopping haul if you beg me, and you have to beg hard, honestly. Put down in the comments, Dougal, I want you to do a shopping haul, or to cover a shopping haul, and I will think about it. That is the best I can do, right? I'm sorry, I know some of you like to talk about this family, but there's just nothing to discuss right now. There's like nothing. They went to Landmark the other day, again. Would you believe? Again, they went to Landmark, and they went to B&M's. They got caught in the storm, I believe. Zoe did. She was caught in the storm. The other thing I would like to mention is, if anything happens with the Sullivans, if they have some sort of controversy or anything that you spot in one of their vlogs, you need to tell me, right? You've got to come to me and tell me, because I'm not trawling through. This sounds very entitled, I know, but I don't have time to trawl through every single vlog they have, just in case they might do something. The vlogs are like 35 to 40 minutes long, of Zoe saying like that, right? It's quite tedious. So please let me know if there's anything that's happening with them. And until next time, thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day. Give this video a massive thumbs up. Comment all of your thoughts about it down below, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thank you all so much. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.